Hey, what's going on guys? RVZ Stealth here, and in today's video I have my opinion on the best ADCs for Season 4, patch 4.13. So first up I have Caitlyn. So Caitlyn's always going to be a strong pick for solo queue because she just outranges every single champion and she scales pretty well into the late game as well. She's also got a really good early game because of her high range, which makes it easy to zone your enemies out of lane. So pros to Caitlyn are she's got the best auto attack range at level 1. She has a great early game because of that range. She's a safe pick. She has an escape, which makes her less susceptible to ganks. She has a great late game, like I said. She benefits from the IE rush that most ADCs are going with now. And she has a great passive for laning. It can be used to zone your enemies off of CS because there's no way that they'll be able to trade back that damage with you. Some cons to Caitlyn are she has a weaker mid game. She doesn't scale as well as other champions like Kogmaw or Tristana. She's pretty early game dependent. She has to take advantage of her early game advantages if she wants to do well in the later parts of the game. And she has fairly high mana costs, so be careful when spamming your Q. Next up, I have Corki. So Corki is a very safe pick, especially for solo queue, because he's got a great escape in his Valkyrie, which is his W. He has good burst damage in his Q and his E. He has great poke in lane and also out of lane with his ultimate. He has a strong mid-game spike. Once you get an Infinity Edge as well as a Trinity Force on Corki, he starts to hit his power spike pretty hard. Some cons to Corki are he falls off late game compared to some other AD carries. And he's pretty weak if he doesn't have his items. He needs to have his core items to be able to do any damage. Next up, I have Jinx. So Jinx has a very good late game. She's got a really good passive, so it makes it really easy for her to push towers. She has good CC for an AD carry. She's probably the best split pusher in the game because of her passive. She has good wave clear with her rockets. And if she's fed, she can carry a game pretty easily as long as she gets a little bit of peel. And she has an amazing ultimate that's got an execute on it, so you can use that to finish off kills. Some cons to Jinx are she has no mobility, so she relies on her team for peel. She has fairly high mana costs. She can get poked easy in lane, and she can get focused very easy if you don't get peel because she has no mobility. Next, I have Kogmaw. So Kogmaw is pretty much one of the best AD carries right now. His late game damage is really insane. Some pros to Kogmaw is he has a spectacular late game. He has good poke in lane with his W and once he hits 6, his ultimate. He has a great auto attack range buff in his W. His ultimate reveals champions, which makes it you never have to face check bushes because of this. You can always throw down your ultimate to check if there's any enemies in the bush. He can easily carry games because he's such a strong late game champion. Some cons to Kogmaw are, of course, he has no mobility, so he needs that peel. He needs his items. Once he gets to late game, he starts to deal a lot of damage, so you just want to try to farm up, get those kills, and Kogmaw will become a menace. He has a little bit of a weaker early game, and he can get focused easy in team fights like Jinx because they have no mobility, and of course he needs peel. So my top choice right now is Tristana, and you probably aren't surprised because Tristana's probably got one of the best late games as an AD carry right now. She has an attack speed buff in her Q. She has great mobility with her W. She has great kiting potential because of her W and her ultimate. It makes for a really easy time to kite. She has an insane auto attack range late game. because her auto attack range as well as her ultimate and her E scale with levels. She has an amazing ultimate. Some cons to Tristana, there's not many, but she naturally pushes the lane if she levels her E, and she has a weaker early game compared to some of the other AD carries. So some honorable mentions for this patch are Lucian, Twitch, and Draven. The reason why I don't have Lucian on this list is because of the recent nerfs he got to his E. It no longer removes slows, and it's also on a much higher cooldown, so you won't be able to dash around as much in team fights as you could before, as well as the patch before he got nerfed, his range and his Q. So I just don't think he's a top tier AD carry anymore. And Twitch, he's also a good choice. He's just not in my top 5 because he, compared to like Kogmaw and Tristana, he just doesn't have that impact on the game that they have. And a good Draven player can carry games pretty hard as long as you know how to use your axes in team fights and you can maximize your damage with them. Then Draven's a really good pick. However, he's a lot harder to play and he's a risky pick, so I don't have him on this list. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more League of Legends content, and I will see you in my next video.